United States. One nuclear weapon.
India celebrates 7th Yoga globally. ECOWAS goes for a slim management to cut costs, to reduce commissioners to 7. Nigeria and Holy See opens new diplomatic vista as Nigerian High Commissioner to Vatican submits letter of credence to Pope Francis in the Vatican City. Now, these are some of the issues of discuss on this edition of the program Global Update, where we discuss different issues around the globe. From Africa, Asia, America, Europe, and all, we bring to you developments as they unfold. My name is Oyeyemi Ajayi. Welcome to Global Update. And now the 15-nation Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has agreed a 7-member commission from the current 15-commissioner structure beginning from March 2022. The reduced management structure, which entails 5 commissioners plus the president and the vice president, was one of the decisions reached by the just-ended summit of regional leaders in Accra, Ghana. The establishment of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on 28 May 1975 is to, among other objectives, promote economic relations and activities among member states. At the helm of the executive arm of the community is the president of the commission, appointed by the authority for a non-renewable period of 4 years. He is assisted by a vice president and 13 commissioners. And this reflects the full representation of all 15 member states in the organization. Over the years, ECOWAS has been working with this structure to achieve its set goals and vision. As much as the Commission has been quite responsible in its duties with successful results to show, many issues have been hampering the growth and development of the Commission. These, many say, must be addressed through restructuring, and part of which include the adoption of the single currency called ECO, which will be accessible and be the mode of exchange by all member states. Aside this, there is the call for a reduction of commissioners from 15 to 7, and with the just concluded summit of the regional leaders in Accra, Ghana, agreed to, it is expected to take effect from March 2022. The existing 15-member commission of 13 commissioners plus the president and the vice president is considered top-heavy and expensive, and so the reduction is expected to save ECOWAS substantial amounts to be utilized in the execution of community projects. The Accra Summit also adopted the report resuscitating the ECOWAS Council of the Wise for Preventive Diplomacy.
Continues to value the work of our organization, which is held up as a model of regional engagement on the continent, and we must continue to do whatever is required to strengthen it.
Well, first, the reforms are very welcome and they are timely, long overdue, but it's good to see that ECOWAS has decided to streamline its commission and reduce the number to 7. With a lean commission, one will expect better results. And hopefully, if the member states will give proper guidance to the commission, and as I said on the program this morning, that ECOWAS is only as good as its member states are. So if the charge is given to the reformed commission and the member states have a mechanism to monitor, one should expect to see better results. And that's what I hope that the lean commission will achieve. because it was unwieldy to have 15 commissioners, meaning every country had to have a seat. And if you sit down in a 15-member committee to discuss, you know that the differences that will emerge will be great, and equally the time that it will take to resolve will also be much. And now if you have fewer people sitting around a table, it's easier to monitor their performance. So
now, Nigeria and Holy See opens new diplomatic vista as Nigerian High Commissioner to Vatican, Paul Oga Adiku, submits letter of credence to Holy Father Pope Francis in the Vatican City. Pope Francis expressed readiness to collaborate with Nigeria to overcome security challenges currently witnessed in the sub-Saharan region. He also appreciates the efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to combat security challenges witnessed in some parts of the country, while agreeing that it is not just a Nigerian problem, but global.
I've equally met the president of the Nigerian Catholic priests. There are well over 100 Nigerian priests here in the Vatican. And we've already set in motion that prayer session, which most likely would come up in October, because I want to conscientize our people. You know, we've seen cases whereby Nigerians who are out here have a very negative impression of our country. So we equally use that to tell them that under this present dispensation, a lot of things are happening in our country.
Well, from here, let's go on a short break. When we return, Ghana, Kenya on our radar. We'll be right back.
Let's blow your trumpets. Advertise on NTA News 24, located at the headquarters premises of the NTA, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Our rates are affordable. Our reach is far and wide. We are on DSTV channel 419, Star Times channel 101, Go TV channel 46, Free TV channel 703. NTA News 24. News and more news.
And welcome back. The program is still Global Update, where we discuss developments around the globe. Now, the second prosecution witness in the ongoing criminal trial of Ghana's Assistant Commissioner of Police and 8 others told the trial court that the 10 accused persons had attempted and paid 2,000 Ghanaian cedis to procure AK-47 assault rifles for an alleged coup to destabilize the country, as well as abduct and kill President Akufo-Addo. The panel of 3 judges hearing the case heard that a confession by one of the accused disclosed that he was paid the said amount by the alleged mastermind of the plot, Dr. Frederick Makupam, to procure rifles for the said alleged attack on government.
Major General Nicholas Peter Ando, the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters of the Ghana Armed Forces, during cross-examination by lawyer for Dr. Derek McPalm, and 4 other accused persons on Wednesday afternoon, told the Accra High Court that a confession by Mr. Gershon Akwa that the alleged orchestrator of the plot, Dr. Frederick McPalm, queried why he, Mr. Akwa, did not acknowledge receipt of the 2,000 Ghana cedis from him, which was money meant to purchase weapons through him. According to the prosecution witness, in the confession of Mr. Akwa, the first accused, Dr. McPalm also asked why he had not procured the said rifles. General Ando told the court a combination of evidence, such as a report by the Bureau of National Investigations (BNI) on joint surveillance operations conducted in respect of the alleged coup plot, audio and video recordings, briefings by operatives in attendance of meetings held by the accused persons, the physical discovery of bombs at the Citadel Hospital of the prime suspect, Dr. McPalm, confirmed the authenticity of plans by the group to overthrow the government and kill the president. The witness also narrated to the panel of 3 judges, presided over by Justice Mrs. Efia Sewa Asari Botri, that further evidence, as captured in a video recording at one of the meetings by the group at La Scala Ateshi in Accra, included selected areas to be captured, attacked and blocked. He said 14 months after the said meeting in 2018, the same plan and sketch was discovered in the drawer at the office of Dr. McPalm Citadel Hospital at Alajo in Accra. Meanwhile, during his examination in chief on Tuesday, Major General Nicholas Peter Ando narrated to the court how one of the accused persons, Mr. Alan Debra, sought to brainwash the soldiers and incited them to frustrate the government to enable them by their loyalty and support for the alleged coup.
Now, the 8th edition of the African Public Service Day commemorations ended in Victoria Falls, with African Union members countries saluting civil servants for the resilience in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic.
African Public Service Day is a continental event held by African countries to celebrate progresses and achievements made in public service delivery and to showcase innovations made to improve provision of public services to citizens. This year's event is attended both virtually and physically by ministers and public service administrators from a few selected African countries due to restrictions brought about by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The Kenyan delegation is led by Principal Secretary in the State Department for Public Service, Mary Kimonye.
We have the Kenya KWS with Zuru, which is a mobile app that they are using to continue with visitation to our national parks. We have the East African community. They have a tracking device or tracking system. We also have the Coast Development Authority, who also have a technology-driven innovation. We have the Huduma Kenya services with their service by appointment, and also with Huduma Popote. We also have the ministry itself under the performance contracting, where we are now automated the performance contracting. We have the Kenya Film Commission.
The theme for the 3-day event, which was officially opened on Monday, June 21, 2021, is Building the Africa We Want through embracing an ethical culture that underpins purpose-driven leadership in the context of crisis. The objectives of the 2021 celebrations are to create a platform for African Union member states to exchange and share experiences through showcasing innovative approaches to service delivery, propose ways to embrace ICT as an enabler to innovative service delivery, among other objectives.
Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has voiced the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States (OACPS) concerns regarding the increasing number of unilateral decisions by the European Union targeted at the multilateral institutions member nations. President Kenyatta regretted that the EU doesn't sufficiently engage the OACPs before taking some of its decisions, contrary to the provisions of the Cotonou Agreement.
President Kenyatta, who is the president in office of the summit of the 79th member institution since 2019, said such decisions by EU were unnecessarily made and contravened Cotonou Agreement.
I share the concern of affected OACPS member states that the unilateral approach adopted by the EU is against the spirit of the post-Cotonou Partnership Agreement.
On the blacklisting of all ACPS countries on grounds of deficiency in anti-money laundering and financing of terrorism, the president said his office had unsuccessfully raised the matter with the highest levels of the EU's hierarchy.
The unilateral application of measures, including sanctions by the EU, indeed as imposed on Burundi, has created sensitivities and concerns within our group.
President Kenyatta, who is on a two-day official visit of Belgium and the European Union, spoke on Tuesday in Brussels when he addressed a meeting of the OACPS Committee of Ambassadors. Earlier in the day, President Uhuru Kenyatta and European Council President Charles Michel unveiled a strategic dialogue framework through which they seek to step up their bilateral relations. In a joint statement released on Monday evening between Kenya and EU, agreed to cooperate more in domestic, regional and global interests such as democracy, governance and human rights.
Ghana is to begin clinical trials for two separate vaccines for COVID-19. Sputnik Light and Sanofi will be tried out in Kintampo, Kumasi, Dodowa and Navrongo, with the lead institutions being the Kintampo Health Research Center, Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research, Dodowa Health Research Center and the Navrongo Health Research Center. Researchers say the trial for the COVID-19 vaccines in Ghana is timely, especially because countries the world over are experiencing vaccine challenges.
The trial is at its third stage and comes at a time when new COVID variants are circulating globally and new vaccines are needed to protect all. Currently, researchers are at the community engagement stage of the trial and are expected to cover around 500 participants in the communities where the trials will take place in the country.
There are lots of arrangements being made to ensure that all participants are safe, and if it's fully rolled out, there's also arrangements to ensure that people who receive it are also safe, and if there should be any adverse event or side effect, this will be completely reported to the regulatory authorities, and then measures will be taken about that. But as we speak, the profile of the vaccine that we currently are testing have been found to be acceptable.
The 13-month-long study will ensure the safety of participants and test whether the study vaccine is safe and works to stimulate immune responses that might prevent COVID-19 disease. Researchers are expected to learn more about the safety and efficacy of the vaccine under trial conditions before its approval as a COVID-19 vaccine for the country. The Director of Research at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Ibrahim Ojo, said Ghana has been placed on a high-profile list to produce vaccines in future, and these trials can help in that regard. He said though there are several approved effective COVID-19 vaccines, it is important to ensure there are enough vaccines for everyone in the world.
These two trials first are to ensure that we have more products available because there are new variants coming up, so it's important that we develop new products, that new vaccines that can combat the new variants coming up. Now there are shortages of vaccines across the world, particularly in Africa, so when these variants, these trials are also successful, I think to add to the stock, it adds to the portfolio of vaccines that we have. Secondly, for the Sputnik Light, it will be easy to administer because the Sputnik V is double dose. This will be like a single dose, so it will be easy to administer and more people can get it. If one person is taking two and one person is going to take one, at least we'll get more people to get the vaccine. So I think people should just participate, those who have the opportunity to participate and support successful for the vaccine so that hopefully we can get vaccine to combat because the disease is not going now and it's important we get vaccine.
At a stakeholders meeting, the acting director of the Navrongo Health Research Center, Dr. Patrick Ansan, said the 3 research institutions are capable and ready for the trial and are working with the FDA to ensure standards and the safety of the participants for the trial. The study will be conducted in line with protocols reviewed and approved by the Dodowa, Navrongo, Kumasi, and Kintampo research centers, as well as the ethics and standards of the Ghana Health Service and the Food and Drugs Authority.
All right, now the 21st of June every year has been set aside as the World Yoga Day. Yoga is one of India's age-long tradition of relaxing the body, mind and soul. Since 2014, it became a global celebration which Indians around the world, including their allies, Nigeria inclusive, experience this rich culture of India. Yoga, an exercise that connects the mind, body and soul. It is an age-long tradition of the Indian culture, serving as a way of relaxing the entire body system. Since 2014, yoga became an annual celebration, one which became India's exported culture around the globe, with millions participations globally, including Nigeria.
Out to the left, then breathe in through the left, out to the right, in through the right, out through the left. So the posture can be like, the 2 fingers straight, thumb on the right and the ring finger on the left.
This year, which was the 7th year of celebration, wasn't an exception, as the Indian High Commission was the venue for the event, with much attendance from diplomats, businessmen and women, government officials amongst others, including the CEO and chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission (NIDCOM), Abike Dabiri Erewa, who saw yoga quite relaxing as instructors took everyone through the 3 areas of yoga.
I read about it, but I never sat down to spend like 30-40 minutes doing yoga. So this is encouraging, but also most encouraging is what India is doing with their natural and traditional strength. So this is an Indian cultural thing, and they've been able to show it to the whole world. Nigeria has the same, and maybe even much more. So what are we doing to develop our tradition, our culture, particularly in the area of healthy eating, healthy living? And we have them all over us, fruits, herbs, all over us. So I think it's a challenge to Nigeria.
All traditional and indigenous knowledge systems across the world, whether it is India or Africa or other parts of the world, are gaining special relevance, special importance, because the modern day illnesses and modern day diseases, from mental health to diabetes to, of course, COVID, where immunity is very important, I think are growing in importance. And that is the reason I think we are getting so much resonance, if I may, so much support from Nigeria, from the esteemed government of Nigeria, because it is not about only Indian systems of medicine or African systems of medicine or wellness or well-being, but it is coming together, learning from each other, and emphasizing this very important aspect of human knowledge for the well-being of humanity. So I think it's especially relevant today, a year after the pandemic.
You do to keep fit yourself. So yoga is the easiest way, which is not required any equipment. It required your time and your body only. So that's all about yoga. Anything you are doing is the olden art to be healthy. That is all yoga all about.
The Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Abe Tako, on his part said yoga is just one of many ways which Nigeria can experience the rich cultural heritage which India possesses, and so it is one of the benefits of the bilateral relations between both countries.
Very much at the top of our priorities when it comes to Nigeria for India or India for Nigeria there is a whole lot of interactions, whether it is in the energy sector, trade investment sector, multilateral organizations, cooperation in UN, security cooperation, counter-terrorism training, and today we see, traditional knowledge. So I think we are working together in many different ways. We have a multifaceted relationship, and this will only grow stronger because as we go forward, India's relevance and importance for Nigeria as an economy, as a country, will only grow up further, go further and higher and higher.
And that's Global Update this week. Join us next time for another interesting edition of the program. My name is Oyeyemi Ajayi, and remember, COVID-19 is real. Please observe all safety protocols to stay alive. Bye for now.